maybe you just really need to tap into your full potential, and your full potential is like that risk that you're afraid to take.
This is reminding me of being able to recognize in your life when it's time to let certain things go, or let versions of yourself go. So I think a lot of people hold on to...
I'm gonna cry.
Are you happy? Yeah, you can relate to
that
what I'm
tap,
saying?
yeah.
You know
that
saying?
One really hit. Yeah, absolutely. You really do need to let the past go in order to allow new things to come into your life. Because if you're holding on to old patterns, old routines, old people, old things, you never actually create the space for the new to come in. And you also never make yourself uncomfortable enough to want that new and better thing to come in.
Life Rhythms with Ryanskyy. Observing the world around me, looking inward, trying to make sense of it all.
Don't keep it waiting. I'm losing myself without you. Say that you want me. Your love is my drug, I need it.
Welcome to Life Rhythms Radio Show. I am your host, Ryanskyy, Adobe family, Life Rhythms family. I'm excited today because I have here in the studio with me Nostalgix, who's a bass house, Iranian DJ, producer, writer. And I'm looking forward to interviewing her today because, first of all, we're featuring her song, Don't Keep Me Waiting. We played a little bit of it coming into here today. And I've got a lot of questions. I want to ask her. I want to know her story because she was a first generation immigrant from Iran. Her family came over here, and also female in the industry. I'm sure that she's got some stories. It'd be interesting to hear what that experience has been like for her. But also, too, I love the music, and I want to know the inspiration behind the songs. So, Nostalgix, welcome to Life Rhythms.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
How long has the hair been this color?
Almost 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years of being orange.
It's always orange, right?
Yeah.
I love that it's so bright.
It just always gets like a little bit brighter, I feel like, or like I change it to some variation. So it's like, it's had phases, but now it's like, I feel like it's like peak ultimate form. Do
you look at it and think like, oh, it's dull, like I need to be brighter? You know, I wonder because I mean, I have blonde hair. I'm not naturally blonde, and sometimes I go through that where I'm like, it's not blonde enough, or it's...
I mean, I've definitely like looked in the mirror before being like, I want it to be brighter, but I'm like looking at my hair being like, girl, that's very bright orange hair. I don't think you can go any brighter than that. But I've managed to do it, and I feel pretty happy with this. But I could always, I don't know, I feel like it's possible to always go brighter.
I like it because it's like a signature look. Was that the thought behind it? Is you wanted to come up with something that you felt you could be known for, or what? Or did you, or is it not that serious? Is it?
It's not that serious because, so I'm the kind of person that like, if I get an idea, I have to do it, or else I'll be upset that I didn't do it, and I'll always think about it and be like, remember that idea I had? Like, I wish I did it. So I had this idea of dyeing my hair orange because I was like, I think it would look cool. And then I almost chickened out because I had blonde hair with black streaks at the time.
Okay.
And it felt psychotic to just go and dye that orange, like perfectly blonde bleached hair to dye it orange. And I was like, you know what? I have this idea. I just have to try it, you know?
Yeah.
And I did it. And here we are.
And is this something you think you'll stick with for a while?
I think so. I actually really like it. I feel like it just feels like so fun and different and unique. And I feel like it gives me like a different look when I perform, and like it's actually given me a lot of inspiration in different ways of like visually how I want to be approaching my art. So I think it's like crazy enough, it actually has inspired me in a lot of ways to like evolve as an artist.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like before someone meets you, when they look at you, it's like you're communicating, I'm fun, come talk to me. It's like warm and inviting, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm fun. Like, who wouldn't want orange hair, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I want to know her. Why is her hair's orange? Like, I don't see that often. That's cute.
Real.
So, this song, Don't Keep Me Waiting, I want to ask you about it. We're going to play we played a clip of it coming into the show, and I can play more of it as we talk about it. But I want to get into the inspiration behind it, talk about some of the production. I'm going to go over to the desk and play it a little bit so that we can talk as well. So
let's do it.
All right.
Don't keep me waiting.
And I've got the music video up as well. So I'm gonna play. So this is featuring Mila Falls.
Yes.
Okay, right. And I was reading an interview that you did, and you were talking about how you had been wanting to work with her.
Yeah, I think she is just absolutely talented. I literally heard her in a different playlist that I was running to the other day, and I had to message her. I was like, I love your voice. And we've already made the song. I was like, I'm just so happy we made this together because she's just insanely talented.
And she's based in the UK.
Yeah.
Right? And you're here in Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
Based, but you're touring. Yeah. Okay, so here is Don't Keep Me Waiting a little bit.
Don't keep me waiting. I'm losing myself without you. Say that you want me. Your love is my drug, I need it. Don't keep me waiting. I'm losing myself without you. Say that you want me. Your love is my drug, I need it. I need it. Don't keep me.
I love the build up.
Thank you.
Don't keep me waiting.
It's really pretty, this part.
Thank you.
Don't keep me waiting.
Yeah. It's good.
Thank you. It makes you want to take over the world, you know?
I love the synths and the drop. It's on the beat, the downbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Right on the downbeats. Dun, dun, dun. And I also like how in the beginning the music behind it alludes to what's coming.
Yeah.
Right? It's da, 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 but it's more ethereal and kind of in the background and more pads and stuff. But it kind of creates that theme that's coming in the drop.
See, I wanted to make something that felt like a bit more emotional because I feel like with my records in the past, I haven't really tapped into that side of myself a lot yet. So something I really wanted to do is I was in a period of my life where I just really wanted to obviously tap into the more emotional side of myself. So I wanted to make a record that kind of brought together like actual deep raw emotion with like the heavy banging sound that I have. So I wanted to find a really beautiful blend of like emotion with like the ethereal kind of sound where you hear in the breakdown and everything, and then to really bring it into this like heavy bigger drop.
Yeah.
That feels like so powerful.
Yeah.
And to me I feel like that's like what the message of the song is about.
Yes, I'm going to move over to the sofa. Tell us the message. Tell us more about the message.
Welcome back over here. Yeah. I feel like for me, something I've really realized about myself over the past years, just how much of an emotional, deep, caring person I am. And I feel like with my music in the past, like I've definitely made a lot of songs about like partying and like just feeling really good about yourself and feeling empowered and everything. But I've never like I haven't really tapped that much into like the emotional side of myself. And at the time I was just going through a lot of things in my personal life, and it didn't feel very natural to sit down and make a song about partying or this song about having fun, you know?
Yeah, it didn't feel authentic to that period of your life.
Yeah.
I do have a quote from you from another interview. You had said, I wrote this song during a time of significant hardship and challenges in my life.
Yeah.
I needed to find the will and the strength to push forward and break my own limitations. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay. And this song, when did you write this song? How long ago?
I wrote this song, like started it about a year ago when I was in Toronto.
Okay.
And after that started like working more on like the production of the record and just making it what it is today. But the initial idea, like the song honestly like feels like it wrote itself just because of like I think what I was going through at the time of like when you sit down and you make a song that feels so just authentic and genuine to like what you're feeling and what you're going through, like I feel like the song just like it comes out of you.
Yeah.
Like it's like it needs to be made kind of thing.
Yeah. You're channeling the song.
Yeah.
Is this the first song like this that you've put out, the non-party song?
I've made a couple in the past, like Heat Rush featuring Dyer, and then Limit with Evan Gia. But I feel like this was like a really big breaking point for myself because it was like something I was feeling so heavily in the moment, and it was something different that I did with my sound and my music that it just feels very exciting to me because I mean at the time I was still like like I'd be sitting down to like make music and I was still trying to like make like more bangers and like the classic like heavy nostalgic sound, but it just didn't like feel very authentic to me, and there's nothing to me that felt like super exciting. And I'm the kind of person that I have to feel like so excited about what I'm doing to continue doing it.
Yeah.
So nothing actually like really stuck. But then when I sat down to make this song and I just allowed myself to just be real with like what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I was going through, it just like came out like this.
Okay. Do you think this is a one-off? Do you think you will go back to the party, or is this kind of a new direction for you that you'll do for a while?
I think it's something that I want to continue doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the records that I'm working on right now are actually kind of like written and made in the same period of time.
Okay.
So I definitely am working on a lot more like deep records and like emotional records, but I definitely do still want to keep making like fun party records. I think for me, I've realized that I'm the kind of person that just I like to be very authentic with what I'm making. I don't want to ever force what I'm making.
Yeah.
So like if I'm going through a period of my time where I'm like, I need to make a record that's more emotional and deep and raw, like I want to make it. If I'm wanting to make a song because I'm just so stoked I just played this festival and I'm inspired to like write this vocal or like make this bass line, like I want to do that, you know?
Yeah. How have the fans responded to this? Like before you put it out, were you nervous that maybe your fans are always expecting a certain thing from you, and there's always kind of that little bit of uncertainty of like, are they gonna be down with this new direction?
I think I've definitely felt that before when I've put out like my song Heat Rush.
Yeah.
So it was like, are people gonna like it? Because they don't really know me like this. They know me as like I'm putting out bangers and it's like I'm the party kind of girl, but no one's really seen like the more emotional side of me. But I feel like when it came to Don't Keep Me Waiting, just because of like the way I felt about the record and because it meant so much to me, I didn't care about like what the response would be. I didn't care what other people thought about it. Okay. I was just like, I really, 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 really love this record. I believe in it with my whole heart. Like, I'm going to just put out my vision the way that I want it. And, you know, I hope that people respond well to it, but I just need to do this for myself.
Yeah. Okay. I see a theme here. I mean, you have a history of stepping into, like with the hair, being a female, stepping into the electronic space, making your hair orange, like just doing things for yourself or going for things that you want to go for. I see it. I see that this is just another step in that direction.
Yeah. I feel like that's like, it's interesting. I feel like I've seen a lot of those patterns in my life to become like who I am today and like get to the level that I'm at in my career today. I feel like it's taken a lot of like taking those risks and like trying something different and like doing something just because I'm like, I feel like I just have to do this for myself, not for anyone else. It's just for me.
Yeah. I can relate to this. I can relate to the talking about the being authentic and like, I don't know if I want to make that right now because I'm feeling this other thing. Like I have 2 singles coming out this year and I worked on them last year. Mm-hmm. But right now I'm kind of going through more of like a spiritual moment in my life, and I'm like, I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't know, after these 2 songs, like I don't know if I'll make secular music again. I never thought I would think that, but it's like, I don't know if I make music again, it might be more spiritual. I don't know if I'm gonna make another love song or another secular song. So I'm kind of like going through that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that it kind of feels a little bit scary because if you're like used to doing one thing for so long and people know you as that, and then you kind of go through like something in your life that calls you to change, as we do. Like, we're people, we're gonna naturally change and evolve, and like as artists I feel like it's a good thing to be evolving and like be real, but it's scary because you don't want like your audience to be like upset that you're maybe like trying something different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so hard to break into the music industry. It's like you spend so much of your life getting to this point, and then now you're known for this sound finally. So I think people underestimate why it's scary, because it's like you spent so much time like carving a space for yourself in the industry, and now here you are, and people finally know you for a certain thing, and then you're like, well, yeah, okay, but I'm ready for the next thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like you want to naturally evolve, and like if you've done something the same way for so long, and like you have changes in your life and you want to try something different, it's like you want to go for it, because you never know where that road is going to lead you. Maybe like that was your calling all along, and like everything else that you're doing is just
yes,
right, like
yes.
everything else is just like to prepare you for it. But like maybe you just really need to tap into your full potential, and your full potential is like that risk that you're afraid to take.
Yes. Okay, this is reminding me of not being able to recognize in your life when it's time to let certain things go, or let versions of yourself go. Because I think a lot of people hold on to.
I'm gonna cry.
Are you yeah, you can relate
that
to what
tap,
I'm saying.
yeah,
you know
that
saying?
one really hit. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really hard for people, because we formulate an image of ourselves, of who we are, and we have this story that we tell ourselves. I'm this is who I am. And then there could be all of these signs and directions in our life that are very clearly calling us in a different direction. And we see it, but I think some people struggle to let go of this version and to step into this new thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that?
I think so, because honestly, like if you think about just like I've done like a lot of reflecting over the past year, and I've had a lot of really big changes in my life that have led me to realize that like you really do need to let the past go in order to allow new things to come into your life. Because if you're holding on to old patterns, old routines, old people, old things, you never actually create the space for the new to come in.
Yeah.
And you also never make yourself uncomfortable enough to want that new and better thing to come in.
Yeah. What was it that was hitting you when I was talking previously? Like what were you thinking?
At the beginning of this year, when I was about to go on my Star City tour, which is my biggest tour to date, I had to go through a very difficult breakup, and also had to go through a very difficult like friend breakup as well.
Oh.
So it kind of just it put me in a place of like having to let go of like a lot, and genuinely just make a lot of changes for myself, because I wanted different things in my life. But letting go is like the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And making those changes and like going that new direction is so difficult. And I feel like people really underestimate it.
Did you see that Katy Perry documentary like years ago?
Is it the one where she like got that text? Of,
yes,
like,
that's what I'm thinking of.
I just saw that clip of like her being broken up with like right before, or divorced right before she went on stage.
Yeah, it was Russell Brand.
Yeah.
He's come a long way since then, but at that time, yeah, I think he texted her saying he wanted a divorce, and she was literally underneath the stage about to come up and perform to a stadium, and she's like crying. Obviously, she's devastated, but she had to go on with the show.
I've also seen, I think it was like a video of like Paris Hilton at Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah.
When she was about to perform, and her boyfriend at the time was like yelling and like making a big deal out of something, and she's like about to like have this moment and like go perform for all these people, and like
and you have to go on.
You have to go on, like the show goes on, like whether you feel like absolute shit or not, the show goes on.
When you were starting out with the party, what was it that originally drew you to making the party music and this style? Because you're known as a bass house artist. There's an energy to it, definitely. You know, like on one side of the spectrum, you've got chill house and tropical house, and what you're making is a lot more energetic. What drew you to that Did you always make that kind of music, or what is it inside of you that hears that style and you're like, yeah, that's it. That's what I like. Yes, this feels good.
Well, when I got into dance music initially, I fell in love with like Big Room. That was like my first love.
Okay.
I just love like the energy and drama of Big Room, and like being in the crowd and like seeing someone like Martin Garrix or Steve Aoki performing is like just so like surreal. But it wasn't until I heard Bass House that I actually got inspired to like want to make music. I saw Dr. Fresh performing in Vancouver at Life in Color, and I was just like in the crowd like, oh my God, this is the coolest music I've ever heard. Like I've never heard anything like this before. It's so sick. And I went home and I'm like, I need to learn how to make this. And that's like what I've always wanted to make. And I feel like my pull to Bass House specifically is like, I'm the kind of person that just loves like all kinds of music. I'm listening to everything. Like I will listen to hardstyle. I will listen to country. I will listen to like alternative rock. Like I love everything.
Yeah.
And for me, the reason I specifically am very drawn to Bass House is like you can do a lot within like a Bass House record. There's a lot that you could do of like how you produce the record, or like you could put the literally like a country song with a Bass House drop. Like there's so much that you could do within the genre that like I think that's what's always drawn me to it, is like it's not like one thing or the other. There's like different levels to Bass House where you can have like a very crazy high energy set, but you can also do something that's like a bit more like laid back and like cool. So there's like a lot of variation in it, which is like something that really draw me to it.
Okay, I can relate to that. Before I got into dance music, I was doing like the singer-songwriter thing, and but I wasn't putting music out because I just felt like something was missing. And then when I discovered electronic music, it's like the possibilities are endless. The sound design, the synthesizers, the melodies, the layers, the drums, like you can do anything you want. And for me, that option overload was just, it was heaven. It was like, wow, I felt like a kid in a candy shop, like all the bells and whistles and things you can play with and effects, and yeah, that's what did it for me.
I feel like I feel like that is like a cool thing about dance music specifically, is like you can literally do anything with it. And I feel like that's what keeps it so like fresh and exciting, is like just the possibilities for what you can create.
Yeah. Okay, this makes sense. I see that, what drew you to Bass House and the party music. So Nagar's your government name. I'm going to call you Nagar. So how do you go from Nagar in the crowd at a Martin Garrix concert to eventually, I don't know how many years later, where you're on stage? It's pretty much a bro culture, right? How did you start to approach the industry and get yourself up on stage? Like, what did you have to do? What was your experience?
It's definitely been a very long journey of working very, very, very hard. But I started producing in 2018. But before that, I spent about a year like DJing, and I was just like playing gigs all around the city and just kind of taking every opportunity I could, just because I really loved dance music, and I always just wanted to learn more about it. So I just started doing that through DJing and playing gigs up until 2018 when I started producing. And once I actually started learning music production, I feel like that just honestly changed everything for me. I spent about like a year kind of trying to teach myself. I'd be watching YouTube videos.
I did that. What do you use, Ableton or Logic? Ableton, me too. Yeah.
Watch a lot of Zen World. That man's was great. I watched a lot of it, just his tutorials. He had a lot of good ones. And then eventually I joined an artist development program called Cosmic Academy.
Oh,
so
you're on like, Cosmic?
Yeah.
Oh, I follow them.
Yeah. It was like
I love that.
It was a really good like boot camp style learning. So it was like very quick.
They've got good content on them.
Yeah. So I got really good at producing through that. And then just a lot of hard work.
How did you get your first DJ gigs in the city?
The first gig that I ever had, I'd had a controller for about like 2 months by this point.
Yeah.
And I was just dying to play a show. That was my whole thing, is I just wanted to do one show. And I was like, I'm done. That's it. I just wanted to try doing one show as a DJ.
Yeah.
And then be like, that's it. I was never like trying to actually do this as a career. But I was part of EDM club at my school at UBC.
Okay.
And somebody calls me. It was like, I think 9 p.m. on a Friday night. I was
UBC is at British Columbia University?
Yeah, University of British Columbia.
Yeah, okay.
So it was in Vancouver in Canada. It was like, I think 9 p.m. I was already out at an event. I was like wearing shorts, like just dancing. And I get this call and someone from EDM Club is like, hey, our DJ from the pit is sick. He can't make it tonight. Is there any chance like you could come and bring equipment? And I was like, immediately, yes. It wasn't even a paid thing. I was like, immediately, yes. I started running in the rain across campus to go grab my mixer. I think I ran for like 20, 30 minutes to go grab this thing, grab like this little box.
You're like, it's happening, it's happening.
I was just so excited.
Wow.
I was like sprinting through the rain, and then I run all the way back to the same building where the event was. And I just plug in, and I had no idea what I was doing. And the first song that I played was like a Pirates of the Caribbean theme song.
Oh my gosh, really?
I did not know what I was doing.
That's amazing.
I wasn't even like of age yet to be like going to clubs, you know?
Yeah. How long of a set was it?
I think it was like 2 hours.
And what kind of party was it? Like what kind of music?
It was like a little bar in our campus. So it was
Okay.
like an underground kind of bar. There was a proper like dance floor. There was a good amount of people there. And I just, you know, when you're like, you don't know, like you're not good enough at something yet to like know that you're bad at it.
Uh-huh.
So like, I think I just at that time, like I just didn't know like the right way to do it. So I was just doing it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is sick. You know, I didn't realize like that I wasn't the greatest at the time, but I was just having fun with it.
Did you feel like you had music to play, like that you had appropriate music to play?
I did, yeah.
My first gig I played completely inappropriate. I can tell you after this.
What did you play?
Well, I was in New York, and my first gig was it was like a pool party on Fire Island, which is off the coast of Long Island, and it's like a daytime pool party thing, and it was for the LGBT community there. And the instructions that I got was to play high energy dance music. That's such a broad term, right?
Yeah.
So when I never played a gig, so in my mind I heard high energy dance music. So I showed up with like big festival drops, like stuff that I wouldn't even play to some of the clubs around here, like just that you would play at a festival if you're Martin Garrix or something. Yeah. So that's what I brought. I'm like, this is high energy dance music. And within 10 minutes of my set, like the whole place cleared out and emptied out. And I was just mortified. And they said it was the lowest bar sales they've ever had. Come to find out when they said high energy dance music, they just meant like Britney Spears Till the World Ends or Rihanna's Only Girl in the World. Like they meant high energy pop music.
Wow.
So I totally missed the mark.
Hurts.
It hurt.
That hurts because I would have thought the same thing.
Okay. Thank you. High five.
What do you mean? Sorry. Toxic by Britney Spears is not high energy dance music.
Right. Yeah. They just meant pop. So it was a bad experience, but it actually, now now I have really high bar retention because I'm obsessed with like never experiencing that again. So now I'm obsessed with reading the crowd, and I'll put a song on and I can see who's there and how they're reacting. And it's like a game for me. I'm like, I've got to keep as many people here as possible.
But also like, if it's your first gig ever, you're not going to know like how to do it, you know, like you're not going to be good regardless, even if you had like the perfect song selection, you know, and that's impossible because it's your first time playing. How are you supposed to know what people are going to enjoy? Yeah.
It's one of those few jobs where you literally have to learn on the job.
Yeah. You have to just like, you have to be bad at it in order to get better. Like it takes a lot of like messing up and trial and error to actually learn how to be a good DJ.
Oh yeah. Are you on CDJs now?
Yeah.
When did you go from the controller to the CDJs? And did you learn them live at shows, or were you able to practice in private?
So when I started DJing, I taught myself on a little like controller I bought off Craigslist. And when I was teaching myself, you know, I saw a sync button, and I thought that the sync button.
Did you pull a Grimes?
No, but I thought if there's a sync button there to like sync the music, that's what that is. I never knew what beat matching was at the time. And I'd gotten booked to play like this kind of like G house hip hop night in Vancouver. So I was like, I'm going to go play like the sick G House set. It's going to be fun. It was already like a little different from like what I was kind of doing. And I went there, and it was the first time I was using CDJs at the club. And I was like, oh, I got this, easy. And then their sync button didn't work. And it was like one of like my first gigs. And I was like, I was trying to like sync it, and I was like, damn, like I don't know how to, like, why is this not working? This is so confusing. And I pulled back to like one of the guys behind me, and I was like, hey, do you know, like, can you help me like mix this? Because it's just not like working. One of those guys ended up becoming my best friend, but he told me that you're not supposed to use the sync button, and there's this thing called beat matching. So then I went back to the drawing board and learned how to beat match, because you're not supposed to use the sync button. Like, you can use it for like cool transitions, whatever, but it's more there for like a safety.
Yeah, it's kind of frowned upon.
I know, I learned the hard way, but I feel like when you're like learning things like this, it helps to have friends that are doing it. But I was literally like, I didn't know a single other DJ at the time. And I was just like in my dorm room, like teaching myself by myself, you know?
Yeah. How long were you came over here from Iran? How old were you? You were 8?
7. Close.
7. Okay.
Very close.
And Persian music was never interested you?
I think I was always more drawn to like what I would hear on cable, like Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera, Missy Elliott, that kind of music. But actually going back to like listen to a lot of like Persian music now, I realize there's a lot of dance music influences. Like if you listen to artists like Kamran and Human, Arash, there's a lot of like influences.
Okay.
You know?
So, okay. And your family moved. Are you still connected to the country? Like, what was your experience there? Do you remember? You were so young.
Yeah. Living in Iran is just like, it's a different world because, you know, as women there, you don't really have rights and you have to be completely covered up.
Wow,
we left because my parents had 2 girls and wanted to give us an opportunity to make something of our lives and like get to do whatever we want and like have freedom. Yeah. But I really, really want to go back, but I haven't been back since I was 16. But I would just love to go and like see all my family again.
Wow. Is there a fear of going back? Do you have to dress a certain way? And
I think with like having the orange hair, that's something, and also having tattoos now. I would definitely love to just go back again to like experience the culture now with where I'm at in my life, and obviously like see my family, and like I love Iran, and like Persian people are the absolute best. Persian food is absolutely amazing. Iran is
my
so
best friend
beautiful.
is Persian.
Yeah.
So
I really want to go back.
Oh, and if you go there with a citizen, I don't know what citizenship you have, but does that help? Does it give you like a little extra protection if you're a citizen of another country?
I would say no. Like it's better to not say that, you know?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because you don't want to like show that like you like
just want to kind of
live a different way. It's better to like blend in kind of thing.
Huh. That's interesting to come from a culture where everything is pointed towards you blending in, and then you pursue a career where the goal is to stand out.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
It's really crazy because of just like how I was like raised and where I was raised in the world, and to be like this outgoing like person that I am. I'm like, it's 2 completely different worlds. Yeah.
Was there some kind of pull or some kind of urge inside you to want to be able to, like, if you come from would you say it's repressive experience in Iran, and then to come to North America and then pursue dance music, DJing, it's like, do you think that's tied? Were you trying to like break out of that and into a new space?
Well, the funny part is, well, not so funny, but I think I just didn't believe that I could ever be doing something like this, to be honest, because of just the way that I was raised and where I was brought out, and like the beliefs that you're taught over there is just, it's very different than like, oh, you can do anything you set your mind to and you can become whatever you want. Like, that's not really what you're told as a girl or like a child in Iran, you know? You're supposed to just blend in and like go by the books. So I never really like, I think it took me a long time to like really believe in myself and like to go for something that's like outside of the box and like to recognize that like I don't need to like fit in and I can do something different and like you know, I can be an artist and like I can be unique and I can be different. But I think it took like a long time to get here, you know?
You have to undo that programming.
Yeah. It's like you have to like break out of your shell, everything that you've ever been taught, and like literally just become a different person. Because like I used to be so shy. I would literally be afraid to like ask people for like what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, like it took a long time to like really like step into my power and like embrace like the highest version of myself and like be in the position that I'm in now.
Okay. I notice that we tend to choose partners or careers or situations that I think subconsciously we know this is gonna pull out a side of us that maybe we want to develop. You know, like it's for example, my brother, he's a Catholic priest, but he's like really shy. And not I don't want to say really shy, but he's shy and quiet. And like a priest is supposed to get up in front of a congregation and give sermons and lead people and give advice. And so I haven't really talked to him about it, but it's interesting to me that he would choose that profession. And I feel like on a subconscious level, he knew by pursuing that path, it was going to pull that. I think he knew he had it in him, and that this path would help him, I guess, step into that version of himself, pull that out of him, you know? And I see
think
that
that's so beautiful.
But
most people, I think, would be afraid to step into those shoes because they'd be like, oh, like I can't be in front of people. Like I'm scared of like public speaking, you know? Like I could never do that.
It is
but
public speaking.
They don't give themselves the chance to like be bad at it and then learn and then like become that person, because we all have it within us to be like this big character and like be living our greatest lives, but the only thing that stops us is just our limitations and what we think that we are not capable of. But it's just you being afraid to shoot your shot.
Yeah, and I think most people fail because they just give up too soon. I don't think it's because they're not able to do what they want to do. You know, when you were starting out in the industry, did you feel pressure to try to fit in and be like part of the bro club?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure. Like I
to be accepted, because it's social. It's like high school. I mean, everything is social, right? It's like you're wanting to be accepted. So what was that? You felt that?
I think like without really thinking about it too much, I definitely did, because I was always wearing like really baggy clothes. Now I love wearing baggy clothes because of like it's just really comfortable on stage, but I was always like wearing really, really baggy clothes, and I always wanted to be like one of the bros. Yeah. And like over the last couple years, I'm like, no, I am a girl. Like I'm just a girl. I'm just a little princess. I'm like, dude, I'm not one of the bros at all. But I think it's like I do feel like when you get into the music industry as a female, like especially being a DJ, like initially it's like a little daunting because there's like so many men and like naturally you kind of want to like blend in kind of thing.
Yeah. There's so many men and you're trying to navigate the space and also, I don't know, deal with all the extra variables of being a girl in a space with lots of men, with drinking and partying and power dynamics, right?
Yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting life.
It is. I mean, I came up in most of my career has been working in the gay clubs, and so
that sounds so lovely and fun.
It's been awesome.
Gay clubs are the best.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So also lots of men, but also I also experiencing the extra stuff, the attraction dynamics, the flirting, like all that, you know, trying to navigate that. We have people booking you, but maybe they're also like attracted to you, and it's like having boundaries, but also like not, you know, it's kind of,
yeah, there's like this like fine line that you always want to like kind of not cross, like to be like professional and kind, but like not like too kind kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. And when I was asking you questions about the fitting in, I was also thinking about my own experience about spending most of my time working in the gay clubs. And like in terms of music wise, at first I felt I was trying to kind of make music that was fitting in with what the culture was, but inside I knew that I wanted to do something a little different. So it took me some time to kind of step away and start to put out my own thing.
What do you think it took for you to like change that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm always interested in like hearing the mindset.
Yeah, because if you think like gay music, dance music, it's divas, the diva vocals, and there's a certain sound, and there's a lot of like, yes, queen, like you better work. And like, I just, that never did, I just was never in. For me, like I have the show because it's all about deep connections. I like soulful voices. I like emotional stuff. And so, yeah, I you know what it was is I think I saw into the future and I was like, I could do this whole thing, this whole yes queen work, like you better work, and probably I could get booked and I could tour, but I saw myself down the road touring the world, playing music that I didn't love, being known for music that I didn't love, and I was like, I'm not that's not gonna be my life. I was like,
wow.
I'm gonna and I mean I was like I'm gonna go my own path and do my own thing, and it hasn't been as easy because I never really felt like I fit in, you know, but I feel like I'm much happier because I'm doing things that I love.
I was literally just gonna say though, I'm like, I feel like you're probably gonna be more like way happier to just be doing what like feels the most fulfilling to you rather than like what you think will just get you like to success quicker, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like long term, just as people, like we want to be happy and we want to be like feeling fulfilled in our lives. And I think doing like what is like the quickest road and like easiest road to success is like never really the answer. Cause like,
yeah,
I personally would just rather have like a long career where I'm being like so authentic to myself and like being very artistic. Even if it takes longer to get there, I'd rather like take the time to build it out properly in like a way that feels very like true and authentic to myself rather than like take those shortcuts to like be that thing that everybody else wants me to be, you know?
It's such a wild experience because what we were saying earlier about it's such a difficult industry to make a career out of. And so you see opportunity where you could play the game and do like put yourself into a certain lane. And it's like part of you wants to be accepted, wants to be booked, wants to be successful, but then another part of you is like, no, that's not who I am, and you know. So that's how I relate to your experience.
I've definitely felt that before because I've spent like a lot of time like the last year myself, like also just like reflecting on a lot of things to just really like think about every little aspect of my life, to think about how could I just be happier day to day, like what do I need to be like the best version of myself, like, and it started with my music, and it started with like what I was doing with my project and like what I'm doing like day to day in my personal life, and just like how I can like maximize my time on this earth, you know, to just be like as happy as I can every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's coming down to advocating for ourselves versus abandoning ourselves. Like I think. You like that?
Can we get some snaps?
Okay, yeah, let's
because that was so good.
because I was thinking like if I went down the yes queen route, I'm abandoning myself, right? And then
I just love that you call it the yes queen route.
Because I feel like you get it right away,
yeah.
Right? The yes queen work route. I would be abandoning where my heart is, and I also too I think this to myself because I use regret to drive my life, and basically it's like I want to minimize regret later in life. I'm the goal is like I want to look back and I want to have as little regret as possible. And I think like what if I abandon this kind of whatever it is that like I love for this other path, and maybe like what I'm abandoning in the moment isn't very popular, there's not a market for it, the world isn't ready for it, but what if I spend years in this other path, but then all of a sudden, say years down the road, what I abandoned actually pops off and is part of culture and is big, and that regret of like, oh my gosh, I wish I stayed, like what if I stayed, like I could have been part of this whole movement. That's what I wanted to do the whole time, but like I never.
And you could be like leading the movement because you thought outside the box and you thought, I want to just stay authentic to myself.
Yeah.
I feel like my favorite artists that I look to are people that do that.
Okay.
The people that didn't like conform into like what the hot sound or like what the hot trend was, and they just kept doing them. Like I feel like if you look at like someone like Knock 2, do you know Knock 2?
How do you spell it?
Knock with a 2 with like the number 2.
Oh yeah. I know the name, but I don't know the music off my.
He's just someone that inspires me a lot personally, because he's someone that I've seen like work so hard and really like pave the path for himself, and like everyone looks up to that guy now, and like he's just absolutely killing it, headlining like every festival, and it took him like staying true to himself to get there, you know?
What kind of music is it?
He makes like trap music, bass house, a lot of like bass music, very high energy.
Yeah. So that inspires you?
He's sick, yeah.
Shout out to Knock 2.
I love to see like dope people winning, you know? And it's really cool to see someone that's like you've seen like really like put the work in, like succeed like that. I think it's just like the most inspiring thing, because you're like you saw like 2 years ago when they weren't at that stage, and then like to see them just absolutely killing it is like the most inspiring thing.
How long have you been in LA for? 3 years. Okay. Because I live here as well, and I also think like it's kind of interesting for us living here, because I wonder like if our perspective is distorted, because we're here and like we meet lots of people, like what you're saying about this person wasn't known 2 years ago. We see lots of stories like that living here, and I think that's really cool. But it also gives us kind of like I don't know if it's a. I don't know. I feel like my version of reality is different from other people's version of reality living here.
I could see that, because
you know what I mean?
I feel like in LA you just like meet a lot of people and you see a lot of things and you experience, like you have a lot of different experiences.
It's so weird. It's like, oh, that person's now, like, okay, one example was I used to go to Equinox, and one of the classes that I took, there was an actor in the class, and him and I were casual friends. And then, but he was just local part of my neighborhood, but now he's one of the main actors in, what's the HBO one where
are we gonna say Vanderpump Rules? Is that the one?
No.
I think, okay.
No, it's, oh my gosh.
I'm not a big, is it a reality show?
No. It's a scripted show. The one with, oh my gosh, with Stifler's mom. The one with Jennifer Coolidge.
I'm so bad at
Jennifer Coolidge.
and I swear I never watch TV, so
I have to look it up. Because I know there's people listening right now, and they're probably like, it's this.
They're just yelling it.
Yeah. So okay. It's okay. Jennifer Coolidge. I'm looking her up, and
she's cool.
It's gonna tell me what she's been in recently. Any second now. IMDb. Okay, here's IMDb. Gosh, I see it in my mind what it is. Oh, White Lotus.
White Lotus?
White Lotus.
White Lotus, everybody.
Anyways, but it's just funny because like he's one of the stars of that, and you know, and now I see like him on TMZ, and he's married to this person, and you know, he's
interesting.
But but it's like that's the LA story. It's like, oh yeah, we went to the same gym, or I don't know. It's just
actually
really weird.
I definitely see that, because I feel like I've seen like a lot of people, like I've met a lot of people where like all of a sudden like their lives just completely change, and they're everywhere. And then I'll have like my friends like back home in Vancouver being like, wait, do you know this person? Like, can you tell me tea about this person? And I'm like what happened? I never even like realized that like they just took over the world kind of thing. It's so cool though, because it's like I think it's just like the most motivating thing. Like it's really weird though to like meet someone like not like taking over the world and then like see them blow up like that, because it's like just such a different like I don't know, it's just such a different perspective, because you saw them like before that, you know?
Yeah, it for me it does two things. One, it makes it all so much more possible. I see how possible it really is, so it's more untouchable, like touchable versus untouchable. It's like, okay, that's definitely doable.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it reminds me that this is all like just an illusion, fame, and
we're about to go deep right now.
you know, like
yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like, it's all cool, but like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting at with this, but like, to me, like, it doesn't change my perspective on a person, like whether or not like they see a lot of like success or fame. For me, I just think it's like sick to see people winning, and like I personally get very motivated by it. And like I just, especially like when you like meet someone and then like you see them working so hard for something and then you see them become successful in it, it's like so sick. I'll just be sitting there like, hell yeah, you go, I'm rooting for you.
That's
you know?
such a great attitude to have, to be rooting for people and not jealous, or there's room for everybody.
Well, I feel like if you're jealous of other people, though, the only person you're actually hurting is yourself. You know, because you're the one that's sitting there being like grumpy, being like, oh, I wish I had that thing that person does, like has. But I feel like instead, if you look at like someone that has something you don't, and you're like, oh, like, you know, it's possible for me to have it too one day, and like I really want that. Like, how motivating that person has it. I'm stoked for them.
Yeah. What about when you're reaching these milestones in your life that you spend so much time dreaming about and working for, and then you do it, and then what's the experience like? Is it what you thought it would be? Is it disappointing? Is it surprising with how quickly you get used to it and you're ready for the next thing?
That's a really good question. I feel like it really is more about the journey, because the moment itself of when you hit that goal just happens so quickly that like it passes you like this. Like for me, a long time goal of mine has been to perform at Tomorrowland, and it's coming up in like 2 weeks.
You're doing it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so excited for it. But it's like, I just know that day is going to fly by. It's going to be like the quickest thing. I'm going to be having obviously the time of my life. But I think the most exciting part of it is like that I get to think about the fact that I'm going to be performing at that festival, and like the prep that I get to do, and like the lead up to it, I feel like is like honestly like the fun part of it, you know, is like all the time spent like wanting this thing, and then like you have it. So it's like, how could I make this like the coolest experience for everyone that's there, and like let them see how excited I am and like how much work I put into this set, kind of thing.
How long of a set is it?
I'm doing an hour set.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. That's such a great length.
It's a great length, you know. You can like really, I feel like with an hour set you can do a lot.
Oh yeah. You can really pack in like all of your best records and really just give them a dense sick hour.
Dense sick hour is exactly what I will be giving them.
Like, this Saturday, every weekend usually when I'm DJing like 5-hour sets right now.
That's long.
It's long.
Yeah.
So it's not a densely packed hour. It's a journey, you know. So those sets are fun. It's also it's like some of my sets I will open and close. So I literally will start and the whole entire place will be empty. And then by, you know, halfway through the place is busy, and by the end of the night busy. It's such a weird that's kind of a nice experience, because you're also kind of warming up as the party's warming up. And then I've had experiences where I'm stepping into peak hour 1 hour set, and that can be, it's like a little nerve-wracking for me, because it's like you're stepping into an energy that somebody before you has already established with what they're doing, and then you're just starting, you just have to go.
It's go time. But I feel
I guess
the 5-hour sets though, like really, like that makes you a great DJ.
Yeah.
Because not like a lot of people have that skill of being able to like open up a room, maintain the energy, and like close out the room like in the right way. That takes skill.
Yeah. Took me a long time to get. I'm good at it now, but I was not in the beginning. It took me a couple of years.
The high energy dance music set to get here.
Yeah, I didn't plan this out, but it actually worked out really well that I started my DJ career in New York. And like when I first started out, I was the opening. Basically, this story for people who want to break in as a DJ. I was working for a marketing agency at the time, and I was trying to break in as a DJ, and I was like, how am I going to break in New York? Like, no one's going to book me. And so I took one of the promoters out to dinner, and I was like, hey, you have all these parties. I'm trying to break in as a DJ. I see like you don't really got much going on social media. I can help you with that. So we bartered, and he basically just started letting me open all his parties. In exchange, I made him a logo, built him a website. Like I did what I could to help him. And all of those opening sets in New York, I was so bad. It was old CDJs, and I was like train wrecking songs. My mixing was terrible, but it worked out great because then I moved to LA a couple years later, and by the time I came here, like I knew what I was doing. So I kind of feel like that worked out.
Yeah, no more train wreck beginning things.
I got to come here as like a polished DJ.
Yeah. But it's really good though that you had that experience, because I feel like without having that, like you need to have those sets in order to like really learn how to be a great DJ.
Yeah. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I feel like naturally I'm an introvert, but I would say I'm more of an extrovert these days. Yeah. I think both. Isn't there like a middle ground? Like I
don't know.
Intro.
Because you kind of remind me of myself in the sense that like I feel like I'm actually more of an introvert, but I'm very friendly. Yeah. And social with people.
I would say I'm definitely like that. Like I love being around people, and like I love people so much. I love meeting people. Oh, that's
so funny. My Persian friend is calling me right now.
Your Persian friend?
The one I told you who's my best friend.
I thought that was my ringtone. I was like,
he's literally calling me right now. That's hilarious.
Say hello to your Persian friend. We love our Persian friends.
That's so funny. He's calling me. What is it like for you to be on stage and having people just watching you, taking videos? It's still kind of weird to me. I honestly just like, I love performing, and I'm such a performer, and I feel like when I step on stage, like that is genuinely the time that like I come alive. Like I have no thoughts. When I'm on stage, I am just like there. It almost feels like a meditative experience for me, because I feel like I just get so in the moment that I just like, I get like lost in the music. And it's so cool because I've like, it's such a weird thing to explain, but it's almost like I black out. Not because I'm like drinking or anything, but like I literally will state. Just, flow state, right?
Flow state.
Yeah. It is like, do you get that when you produce sometimes, like in Ableton?
Yeah, I feel like when I get like really in the moment and I give myself like the opportunity to like just zone into making music, so like keep your phone in a different room, like no notifications, no one can get a hold of you, and like you really dial in on a song, that's when like the real magic happens, you know?
Yeah, that's when the magic happens. What do you have stories going on internally when you're DJing? Like for me, that's something I noticed that I had to work through when I was DJing, was like I'd be up there DJing, and I would also have all of these kind of automated internal dialogue happening of like, I don't even know now, I'm trying to think of examples, but just how I'm doing, like, oh, this sucks, or these
like
people
this
don't like this, or it's not busy right now, it's slow, or I don't know, just kind of internal commenting.
I've never heard anyone like talk about this, because I didn't know this was like an actual thing.
It is for me.
That's a real.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
I definitely experienced it too, and I feel like I had to like really like work through that to like not like think when I'm DJing. So I'm like, wait, I'm trying to just like enjoy myself, right? And like. I had one moment specifically. I was at EDC. I think this is like 2 or 3 years ago now. And I was performing at like the 4 a.m. set. So it was like the sunrise set, 4 to 5 a.m. And your girl was already tired. And I step on the stage, and it was like absolutely packed, and I was so like nervous and just excited and had so many emotions, and like I go to perform, and I was like so dialed in on the set, like no thoughts. I was just like so in the moment. And then I just saw this guy like standing there, and he's holding up like this sign, and I don't even know how I read it, but it was like something like so mean. I don't remember what it said. It was like something that like he just really like, he's like, the set sucks,
really?
Or something like that. And I saw it, and I was just like, I got so in my head about it, and I had to just literally during the set be like, no, like that's just one person, it doesn't matter. And then I was like, why is he standing there watching my set if he thinks it's so bad? I was like, that's so mean.
And this is the internal dialogue. You're literally having to like soothe yourself, console yourself
while you're DJing.
While you're DJing,
and you have like an
and
hour.
everyone's watching you and
Yeah.
videotaping you. It's so weird. I'll think things like, I'll be DJing and I'll think things like, I don't know how to dance. I feel so awkward. This BPM is too fast. I'm just step touching. Like, I need to, I don't know. You know, I think about stuff like that. It's like, I want to dance and like, but then I also, sometimes I feel awkward and I'm like, I'm awkward. And I'm like, no, you're not awkward. And I'm like, stop talking to yourself.
See, stop talking to yourself. Dude, I feel like it's just like, I think that's just like a part of being human though. And like literally like
Yeah.
battling with your own thoughts
Yeah.
to be like, no, my anxiety is not going to take over right now. I feel like the biggest trick I've learned to this is like every time you have like a thought like that where you're like, oh, like I'm awkward or like I'm dancing weird, start dancing weirder and be like, who the hell cares?
Ooh.
Like literally like who cares? Like I'm trying to be the most authentic version of myself. If that person looks at me, thinks I'm weird as hell, thinks I'm cringy, like who cares? I'm here dancing. I'm gonna do the stanky legs right now. Like who
Oh, I
cares?
love that. You're saying like lean into it.
Yeah.
Exaggerate it to show yourself like it's not the big boogeyman that you're making it out to be.
Yeah, and then it gets you out of your own head to like not think like that, you know?
I love that. Okay. Well, Nostalgix. I want to say we're coming to the end of the show, and I want to say, because some people are listening to this on the radio, Adobe Radio, and for those of you on the radio, I want you to know, first of all, my guest I'm talking to is Nostalgix, bass house DJ based in here in Los Angeles, originally from Iran, and this is a video, a full video podcast. And if you're listening to on the radio, you can catch the full video version of this on Spotify, Apple, Adobe's website, and YouTube. So they can go there. And we talked in the beginning about your song "Don't Keep Me Waiting." This is on Dim Mak. Is
Yes.
I know this is like a new thing, right?
Yes.
New
So
partnership.
I
the
started
label.
putting out music with
Closer to the mic.
yes. I started putting
There
out
we go.
music with Demak a couple months ago. We've already put out a record called Look at Me, and this is my second single with them called Don't Keep Me Waiting, featuring Mila Falls.
Yay. Okay. So we definitely want them to check that out. You're on tour, right? What else do you have coming up?
Yes, I am currently on my worldwide tour, so you can catch me at festivals like Tomorrowland, Lollapalooza. I'll be in France, I'll be in Germany, I'll be in Europe this summer, so come and see me perform because we have a fun time.
Isn't it so cool? Like, are you having an out-of-body experience when you're saying that about yourself?
I just feel happy, you
Like,
know?
come see me in
I'm
France,
grateful.
come see me here, this country. Like, I mean, in a good way. It's like if I was you and I'd be saying these things, internal dialogue, I'd be thinking like, I can't believe I'm this reality now. Like, I've been working for this. It's so cool
Yeah.
that I'm actually saying like, you can see me here, you can see me here.
It is. I honestly I feel so grateful and just so happy to be here. And yeah, I'm a happy girl.
I love it. I'm really excited for you. I'm gonna follow
Thank
you. Yeah, I'm gonna follow your career, your journey, the music that you have coming out.
Thank you. Do it because we have a good time over at Chicks Nation.
What's Chicks Nation?
That's what I call the fan base.
Oh,
Chicks
oh,
Nation,
tell me.
Chicks
Okay.
Nation. That's where all the fans live.
Oh, I love that. So you
It's
just
Chicks
shout
Nation,
it out.
baby. Yeah. Shout
Right
out
now
to
they're
Chicks
like,
Nation.
yeah, Ryan, come on, like,
yeah.
get with it. Oh,
Yeah, like
that's,
you need to get like the Chicks Nation hoodie and like, you know,
oh, that's cool.
gotta be part of Chicks Nation, baby. We
Yeah,
have a
I
good
would love-
time.
I
We
want
love
one.
life around here.
I want one.
Good. You would rock one for sure.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get you swag on your way out of Adobe. We've got swag
Let's
for
go.
you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah. Glad to have you on Life Rhythms. Okay, everyone. See you next time.